Aubrey Winter's 35-years-old woman walked into her first-grade classroom with the same warm smile she always carried. Colorful posters on the walls. Reading circles waiting to begin. Bright eyes looking up at her with trust. But that day, something happened that no teacher should ever experience. Something many adults around her could have prevented, but didn't. This is the story of ignored warnings, a young teacher's bravery, and the verdict that sent shockwaves through an entire school district. In 2023, Briarwood Elementary in Maple Ridge, North Carolina became the center of a community-wide reckoning. A 6-year-old child brought something dangerous to school, and after several ignored concerns from staff, an incident occurred that left teacher Aubrey Winter seriously injured. Aubrey later filed a lawsuit, arguing that school leadership, especially former assistant principal Dana Porter, failed to act on urgent warnings. A jury agreed. Aubrey was awarded $10 million, not because money erases trauma, but because accountability matters, especially when children and educators rely on adults in leadership to keep them safe. Aubrey wasn't just a teacher. She was the kind of educator who turned classrooms into safe havens. Her room at Briarwood Elementary felt like childhood magic, pastel-colored reading nook student drawings taped proudly to the wall. Tiny desks labeled with rainbow name tags. Morning greeting rituals that made each child feel seen. Her colleagues described her as the kind of teacher kids remember forever. Gentle. Patient. Energetic. Aubrey truly believed teaching was her calling. But even the most dedicated teacher can't protect a classroom alone, especially when leadership doesn't support them. According to Aubrey's lawsuit, the day of the incident was filled with red flags. Multiple staff members reportedly noticed unusual behavior from a student. Some expressed worry that the child might have brought something unsafe onto campus. Aides and teachers voiced their concerns to Assistant Principal Dana Porter, urging her to check or intervene. But the lawsuit alleges that Dana dismissed or minimized these concerns. At least 3 separate warnings were reportedly brought to her attention, each met with the same response: everything is fine. Go back to class. We don't need to escalate this. He's just having a difficult morning. But it wasn't fine, and it did need escalation. And this was far more than a difficult morning. The inaction would soon have devastating consequences. During instruction time, an unexpected and serious event occurred involving the student and Aubrey. She was injured in front of her class, a moment no teacher should ever face. The school immediately went into crisis mode. Students were evacuated. Staff attempted to care for her as emergency services arrived. Parents were notified, some rushing across town in tears. Teachers held one another, shaken by what had happened. Aubrey was taken for urgent medical care, beginning a long and painful journey of recovery. And as details came out, one truth grew impossible to ignore. This could have been prevented. Aubrey spent weeks healing, both physically and emotionally. She went from leading story circles and math games, to attending medical appointments, therapy sessions, and administrative interviews. Her classroom sat empty, chairs pushed in, lesson plans unfinished, student drawings fading on the walls. Meanwhile, the story spread through Maple Ridge. How did this happen? Why didn't anyone act on the warnings? Who is responsible for protecting teachers? Parents demanded answers. Teachers were outraged. Community members felt betrayed by the leadership at Briarwood Elementary. Aubrey realized that the system she trusted had not protected her, and she refused to. Aubrey filed a lawsuit against the district and specifically former Assistant Principal Dana Porter, accusing her of ignoring repeated alerts that could have prevented the incident. Court documents revealed a painful truth, that staff had approached Dana numerous times with concerns that morning. Aubrey herself had raised concerns about the child's behavior earlier in the week. Warning after warning, dismissed. The jury listened. They reviewed testimony that they examined timelines. They weighed the decisions, and the failures, of the adults responsible for campus safety. Their conclusion was clear. Briarwood Elementary had failed Aubrey. And they awarded her $10 million in damages. This verdict wasn't just compensation. It was a message. A message to schools everywhere: take concerns seriously. Protect your staff. Do not ignore warning signs. This isn't just a story about one teacher. It's about every teacher who has ever reported a concern and been ignored. Every educator who has felt unsafe in a classroom. Every staff member stretched too thin, undersupported, or unheard. Aubrey's situation shines a light on systemic issues: understaffing, unaddressed behavior concerns, lack of training, leadership failing to prioritize safety concerns brushed aside due to fear of overreacting. Her case forces us to ask: what are schools doing to protect teachers? What safety protocols are missing? Why were so many warnings dismissed? Most importantly, how can we ensure this never happens again? Aubrey Winters loved teaching. She loved her students. She loved helping young minds grow. But her dedication wasn't enough to shield her from a situation she warned others about. She deserved protection, and she deserved to be heard. And although nothing can undo what she endured, her courage to seek justice has already created change. Her voice will echo in classrooms across the country. Her story will inspire better safety protocols. Her fight will protect teachers who stand in front of classrooms every day, trusting that the system around them will keep them safe. Aubrey deserved better. Every teacher does.